Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. This is a foiling video that I actually shared over on Whimsy, and once again I felt like I wanted to share it here with you guys just in case you don't see it over there. So let's go. We are going to do a little bit of foiling today. We're going to play with it in two different ways. We are going to start by using the Transfer Gel Duo by Deco Foil. So I'm using this fun Giraffe Stencil from Whimsy Stamps, of course. Use a little bit of Pixie Spray. Pixie Spray is one of my best friends when I'm stenciling. And I'm starting with this one first because this Transfer Gel Duo needs to dry. So it goes on this kind of milky, creamy white, and then you really need to set it aside to dry until it's completely clear. And that might be overnight, it might be a couple of hours or an hour. It just depends on where you live and what your conditions are. But I encourage you, set it aside somewhere safe to let it dry. So once that's done, I got all my stuff cleaned up. We're jumping over to the Glimmer Hot Foil System. So I have the Giraffe hot plate, pattern up, and then the pretty side of the foil to the pattern on the plate. So then I put my cardstock on it, hit that go light so it heats up. When the bottom light turns solid green and it's no longer blinking, that's when it's ready. You run it through your die cut machine and you can see that I didn't get a good transfer. So I think that has to do with my die cut machine. It just doesn't apply enough pressure. So I have this whole sheet that has all of that foil left on it. So I'm going to take a solid plate, as you can see there. And again, the solid part is up. The pretty part of the foil goes down. And I'm going to see if I can't transfer all of that onto another piece of cardstock. So we put all of our pieces together, turn on the light. You can see the bottom light is solid green. Pull it off, run it through your die cut machine, and then you come back and this is where we do the reveal. So let's see what happens. One thing to remember is, playing with shims, figuring out what the perfect sandwich is for your machine and that type of thing. And I'm still very much a novice. I'm on that learning curve. So I'm being patient with myself. I'm showing myself grace. And I've said before, I don't throw things away. Bah, bah, bah. But look at how well that transferred. So that sheet was almost completely empty. Not quite. There's still some foil left on it. But I feel like the second one looks kind of like cobblestone. The one on the left looks like giraffe. The one on the right looks like cobblestone. So you can use it in many different ways. So here I am, applying a Jennifer McGuire tip. So I learned this from her several years ago. I don't know if she still uses it or not, but she has a video. I'll try to remember to link it at the end or downstairs in the description box. But she was doing some very intricate dies, doing some die cutting with some very intricate dies. And there were just a couple places on her dies that weren't getting the pressure that they needed. So she took different types of tape. Sometimes she used like the Post-it notes, and added layers where it needed more pressure versus an entire shim. So that's what I was trying here because it's right down the middle that wasn't transferring properly. So did it work? Let's see. Let's see. Now this is my second set. Drum roll, and look at how much more clear that foil is. So all of it did transfer. I wish I'd have thought about this when I was actually doing the second giraffe plate, but I forgot about it. I didn't think about it until I got to this point. So again, showing myself grace, recognizing that I'm on that learning curve, and things happen. So this is actually the second set. You can see the cardstock on the left was a little darker. These two cardstocks are the same. That's from the first set. And then this is that Transfer Gel Duo panel. So this foil it's Deco foil, and I can't remember the color. I'll try to remember to list it downstairs if I can find it. But this particular foil and this method either needs heat from a laminator or pressure from your die cut machine. And I understand that sometimes the electronic die cut machines or electric work a little bit better, but I feel like this gave it a very impactful result. So when I was talking about setting your panel aside in a safe place, you can see those places that didn't get a lot of foil. That's because I put things down on that panel multiple times while it was still wet. So I have assembled my card. I've used various stamps and stencils, and not stencils, but stamps and dies from Whimsy Stamps, and everything will be linked and listed downstairs for your convenience. And yeah, I just think that these are really cute. And even though it has that grungy, imperfect foiling, you know, you can still use it. Don't throw it away. Let me encourage you, don't throw it away. Now this, I left this in because a lot of people don't know, when you cut your image out, if you're doing fussy cutting and you cut it out right up to the black line of your image, if you take a dark pen, whether it's black or brown or just something dark, and go over the edge, then that covers up that white and any imperfections that might be there in your fussy cutting. So it just makes your image look a little more clean. So I have my giraffe kind of straddling this piece of vellum and just thin air right there. But here when I lay it down, I'm going to be lining him up with his left leg on the left side of that giraffe panel and the right side of the vellum on the right side of the giraffe panel, and then the whole element will be centered in the middle there. So a little bit of foam tape, a little bit of wet glue, and then you saw me putting wet glue on the back of the vellum, but only behind the images, because if you don't already know, vellum is see-through, and so anything you put on the back of that is going to show through, including tape, whether it's a dry tape or a wet tape, or a dry adhesive or a wet adhesive. Yeah. So there are both of my cards. You can see that foil shining with the light here. I turned the light off, and the foil that still has the greatest impact actually is the Deco foil. But I like them both. This is my finished card with one of those panels that didn't have that perfect, but I'm still learning, guys. I'm on that learning curve and showing myself grace. And again, I encourage you to do the same thing when you're learning a new technique or trying something different, trying something new. Don't give up. Don't throw your stuff away. Figure out a way to use it or set it aside for another day, and my inspiration might come back to you. Thank you guys for spending some time with me again today. And again, if you've not seen my videos over on the Whimsy Stamps channel, I invite you to hop on over there and see my work as well as the other design team members, including the amazing Lisa Mensing, who has a fantastic tips and tricks video on hot foiling, and I'll make sure to link that downstairs as well. All the products that I've used today are listed and linked downstairs. I would invite you to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it in any way. Subscribe to my channel if you want to come back and see some more of the crafty goodness I have coming in the days and weeks ahead. And until next time, mwah, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm out.